Hello, friends, foes, and familiars. Yes, I scratched the bridge of my nose on Monday, and now I have a massive scab that decides to bleed profusely every time I touch it. Anyway, moving on. Welcome to Dragon's Blue D&D.
Dragon's Blue.
Welcome
Dragon's
to
blue.
Dragon's Blue. Dragon's Blues Clues, where we find the love, friendship, and adventure in each other.
We find the adventure in each other.
Thought Blue's Clues was all about like a blue dog and finding missing shit.
Well, we did find missing shit last session on Dragon's Blue D&D when Sandstorm Desert Legend found the black sapphire in Lenarath, the blue dog dragon's head.
Yeah, you could have just gone straight to Lenarath.
And I did. Look at that. I'm good. Anyway, the party defeated the Doom of the Desert and liberty to the region of Orzum, the hidden Tabaxi village, or the hidden Tabaxi ruin that Lenarath destroyed back 17 years ago, I believe, depending on the age of what Sandstorm is. No, it's got to be 23 at least. 23 years ago, because I think Sandstorm's 24. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Going around the table, we'll start off with a brief little tidbit and what's happening from our players. And Hot Potato goes to Belvin.
Hello, I'm Brad, playing Belvin, the human paladin. Last session we fought a ancient blue dragon, and the start of the fight happened with our rogue, who is sadly not here with us, getting a crit on his first strike.
Like literally
Started the whole fight off tremendously.
Like that Catboy is ridiculously lucky.
Yep.
Always. Next up, we'll go to Viridian Knight.
Hi, I'm V. I'm playing Antis, the tiefling, draconic tiefling sorceress. One of the major things about last session was the fact that, it was a moment that had been built up from what I believe was episode 3, in which this is the same blue dragon that killed our rogue's whole tribe and killed our paladin and our paladin's mother and our rogue's adoptive mother. So emotions were high. The ceiling was not, as it collapsed on top of us halfway through the fight. And that's where I'll leave that.
And following that, what happened, our good friend Boneweave?
So I'm Luke, playing Casimir, the Tiefling Illusion Wizard. So once we got him pretty close to death, Lenarath, he tried to escape. So we sort of dusted ourselves off and took chase in a bit of a epic cinematic, I'd say, with Ikram, who was at the time buried alive because he shifted from an earth elemental back to his normal form while he was underground.
Yeah, he was underground the whole fight.
So to get out of there, he shape changed into a adult gold dragon, and we jumped on his back and chased Lenarath down. Casimir trapped Lenarath with the use of Mirage Arcane, and then they went in to finish the job.
And dramatically so, as Antes cast Power Word Stun, freezing Lenarath in his tracks, as he's bursting out, firing off a lightning breath, and then Sandstorm and Belvin were flung through the sky, delivering the final blow. In the hours following that, the party checked out the loot hoard and managed to find not only a ton of coinage, but also 6 sarcophagi full of magical items and treasure from all of their with a total value of 304,000 gold. 300,000, 4,000 gold. It's a big number.
There we go.
It's a big number.
It was a massive number. It was a big hoard.
Just
He was a large dragon.
Just some pocket change.
Just some pocket change. So you spend
dimensional pockets.
Exactly. You spend a few days transporting all this coinage back and forth between where it needs to go from Orzem back to Riverguard. And by that time, you're still quite exhausted. You've brought in some of your guards and hired some other little adventurers to come in and basically do the laboring for you guys as you guys return back to Riverguard, as the armies of the world have reached their gathering, have pretty much nearly all gathered down at Baldur's Gate, where the party has been invited to join for the final council session and the planning of the assault on the Well of Dragons. So pretty much through this time, Sandstorm gathers everyone and goes on a rant, basically saying, the final battle is here and coming. We need everyone who's willing and able to fight. Those who wish to stay here and guard the home, more than welcome to. Pick your forces, and we will begin our travels down. So, this is essentially the moment where you decide which NPCs you're going to bring along to the final bouts with you. They don't have to be directly involved in the combat scenarios, but they can be of use, regardless of what they might be doing, or able to assist in any way, or you can call on them for aid during the final battles. So it's not just... So say if you want to call in a friend, you can call in, say, Bag of Nails, and Bag of Nails can come in, do some, cover you guys with some archery shots and such like that.
Kaz would contact Archmage Tozen from Candlekeep and ask if he hasn't already to mobilize all the wizards there to come help us.
Yes, absolutely. Tozen is at the beck and call to the Archmage of Riverguard.
Get some extra mage support.
Yes, so you have ample amount of magic support. You also have the entirety of the fighting corps of the Arcane Brotherhood at your disposal as well, with arcane cannons being teleported and basically ready to be shipped down or teleported down at any given time as well.
Well, I was going to add that. I'll get them to try and sort of cooperate with the Brotherhood and see how they can help each other.
Is that Zabenya from...
That is Zabenya, yes.
Yeah, we'll get him. I'll ask him if he's willing to join the fray.
After they destroyed my home, took me hostage, I'm ready to spill some more blood. Simulacrum basically just nods to Casimir, ready to rock and roll and fight.
Finally.
I mean, he's been holding down the fort, alright?
He's been holding down the fort for a long time.
Yes.
He's been handling all the management, really.
Literally.
Yes. And
All
like,
that paperwork.
Yeah, so much. He's so sick of it.
It's like, look, I'm just glad it's not the real me.
yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say bag of nails. Say Sandstorm probably likes bag of nails to back him up.
Nightcrest is also going to be coming down as well. So
4. Sorry.
yeah, if Sandstorm allows it, but Nightcrest is definitely free to come. So
Nightcrest will definitely come.
So you're definitely able to take and deal with everyone from the keep down with you and basically transport them down to Baldur's Gate to join you in this final moment. Yep.
So, do we know about the forces that were staying in Lork? Did they were mobilized with the main force?
You can request for a report, and the report comes through that currently there is just a small contingent of Alliance forces there, just enough to basically hold the place down and keep it as is, just a local militia.
Yeah.
But the majority of everyone else, like anyone who's willing, who is incredibly capable to fight, is fighting. And it's only just a local small force, such as in Waterdeep, that is keeping the peace.
Yep.
But
do we? Belvin will also ask about the new Lady of Lork. If she is with the main force, or does she stay?
She is with the main force, yes.
Yes.
She made sure to be on the front line for this epic moment in history along the coast.
Awesome.
Okay. Anything else from Riverguard or anyone else from Riverguard you wish to take with you in these moments? Because
Antis would take Ota. Who's the blue Brotherhood blue girl?
Zelene.
Zelene.
Yes.
And a disguised Ariphates. Like in her tabaxi disguise.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so Zelene and Tabaxi Ariphates.
And I'm sure Ikram would take Anki.
We are going to assume that
Yeah, we can. Have we gotten Anki some like battle plates or something? He's got
just
little
true.
armor.
Just true polymorph him into something that Ikram can carry around for now.
It's just a smaller Anki.
Yeah, he just
literally
keeps it in his
shrunk
hood.
down.
The size of a dinosaur top.
And keeps it in his
Oh,
hood.
yes.
Oh, that's so cute.
just a pocket Anki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, now I would love the idea that this pocket Anki everywhere.
Pocket Ankies exist.
But it's like the same weight. It's just way more dense.
No, Ikram would not be able to carry him.
Wrapped
No, no
around
way.
this tiny dinosaur.
It's got a little leash for him. Come on.
Yeah, you just in the distance you see Ikram just like he just like
Yeah, what are
pulling,
you
trying to pull
doing there,
something
man?
you can't see. Like,
Yeah.
what is it? Walk up and then it's just this tiny
Little
little.
Anki.
Yeah.
You guys then hear a horn outside. A brrrr, and coming running on in to the grand hall during your meeting is Christoph. Christoph comes in and yells, "Sires, lady, dragon, Arliet, lizards,
You say blizzards.
lizards."
Ah,
No,
lizards.
there's not a blizzard. No, no. It's a fine day today, but you go out to the.
Kaz, go out. Be like, yep. All right, I'll head out and. Oh, gotta go out the door. That's just rude.
You got to go out the door and flying up above, wearing primitively made hide armor. Well, not. It's more or less an ensemble
Decorations.
decorations for dramatic effect. Yes, in the colors of the flag of Riverguard as well is Aliot. The young black dragon lands.
It's been quite some time.
It has been. Come. And she takes flight up in the air and just hovers.
Oh yeah. Council follow.
The Black Scale Tribe is at our command. And you see a force of probably about 200 lizard folk. That is well known to the area, but is known to not be a threat.
Yeah, because we had like a
So,
non-aggression. treatment.
Exactly. So they're not treated as like as a disturbance or a threat just because of how distinct their color, their scale color is. But they are in order. They look to be wielding their own forged equipment.
Because they bought materials off us, didn't they?
They did. They've been purchasing some materials. So these are lizard folk in like half plate.
Yeah, they've been decked out.
They've been decked out.
You've done well, Elliot. I'm grateful for your assistance.
I'm grateful for your kindness, your lessons.
After this, there'll be many more opportunities for both our parties to benefit.
May we take to the sky together and fight alongside. I not wish to lose my treasures. She looks over to a tribe that basically calls her a god.
I promise you that will not happen.
Thank you. And she does ask logistics. Alright, so how are we going to get all these lizard folks here? There's a big discussion about how everyone's going to get everyone everywhere. Anything else?
Oh. Niffle and Heim are at the Brotherhood.
Thank you. They get to the safety.
They are not. They are not coming to the final fight. And as much as I trust Riverguard, with all of us not being there,
Yeah, it's not the safest place while we're not there.
No.
there could be a possible. As soon as we move, they might possibly attack. So
Because I imagine we'd just be leaving a skeleton crew, kind of, to run the.
Very
place.
much so.
I mean, nearly everywhere is, so.
Yeah, everywhere is a skeleton crew.
Yeah.
So after say like during all the loot's coming in and being distributed at certain points and times and being prepared, you begin to make your move down, and there is a stop in travel as you begin as the lords and lady of Riverguard begin to make their way down the coast, traveling strangely enough by horseback for some reason.
That would like be all the troops as well, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have 1,500 troops traveling down as well, along with supplies, caravans, and whatnot.
I would leave the Casimlacrum because I want to go do some sneaky business. But I will meet up with them in about a week.
At
'Cause I got something planned.
at Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I imagine that would be probably the good.
So did you say we've gone to the meeting?
Can you bring up the world map, please, Scott?
Or we still have that meeting?
So you still have that meeting.
And
But we have to meet up with the other armies and
yeah,
stuff.
and that meeting's being held at
Baldur's Gate. Yeah.
Baldur's Gate now. Yeah.
Yes. Where would you like to be? Are you on the world map?
I was just looking at like where everything sort of is on the coast because I couldn't quite remember how everything was oriented.
Yep. All good.
The other thing that I think Belvin would have brought up with everyone else.
Mhm.
What do we want to do with the Dragon Council? Do we wish to call them in, like, to this area, or leave them defending the areas they're in?
For the final battle, we'd
Yeah.
definitely call them in. How long do we expect it to take? Basically, like to travel
Well,
to
Ella's
Baldur's
the
Gate and
furthest-
then the well.
Ella is the furthest one away.
Well, that's the thing. No, Ella traveled down with you guys.
Oh,
to-
she stayed on the.
Yeah, she didn't
Like
go back.
with us.
Yeah, she didn't go back
Ah,
to Silver
okay.
Moon.
Yeah, yep, that's cool. So she's but yeah, okay.
So
I was
she-
just wanted to make sure that we were gonna call them in
so
to
she,
come with us.
Yep.
I think they should be there for, probably for the meeting as well.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Navi's with you guys, and Tyrus, though working for the Harpers, is with you, and Nim can definitely can easily fly down within that time as well, and Protantha can literally just get teleported there.
Oh, fuck, there's so many dragons.
Yes. So, traveling down the coast, it only takes you traveling quite fast, quite light. It's only a lot of people. It's just a lot of people this time, all with enough trade and supply, along with magic, to hasten the journey. You get to a halfway point where you see the ruins of Dragonspear Castle, continue to go down past the Troll Claws, and head off into the Fields of the Dead, and arrive at Baldur's Gate.
During that whole travel, I think going through Belvin's mind's like, it's been a while since it's been on the road like this. Kind of nostalgic in a sense. Literally only ever teleported around.
Since like level 10.
Yeah, so plus it's been a while since we've been to Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, it's been quite a long time since you've been to Baldur's Gate. About 100 sessions, to be honest.
Which is 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago, probably. Not for like the real time.
Yeah.
In the game,
In a game,
year
like,
and
yeah.
maybe 2 years actually.
3
3 years.
years. Okay, so arriving in Baldur's Gate, you travel through the northernmost gate, and you can see that the damaged effect that the outer city has sustained. The within the inner walls, the upper and both lower tier of the city, the closer it is to the river, the less destruction is. But still, outside the main city gates is fairly well decimated, just from raids and the calamity happening. There is a refugee crisis going on currently within Baldur's Gate, and you can see that the armies of the world have now gathered and are at the final point of the northern and western areas around the outer cities, where the outer cities used to be, but is now pretty much in rubble. As you come into Baldur's Gate and make your way around, you were directed towards the Darkened Spire, which is the Parliamental building in Baldur's Gate, and you actually come across Onthar.
Hey.
And he looks to you and goes, "Belva, my boy lad, how be's you?"
Uncle. Good. How about yourself?
Oh, these new legs, they're doing wonderful. And you see that he's actually sustained an injury where he's lost a portion of one of his legs. So it's basically gone through the process of being regenerated, but he still has to use a prosthesis, so he's a little less mobile in combat at the moment.
Was this the last big fight in Lork happened, or when did this happen? Unless
I was on the road. We stayed in an inn, and we may have just gotten a little bit drunk and a little less careless, and oh boy, mind you, cops coming after everyone left, right, and center on the council these days. So gotta watch your backs.
Well, I mean, been there. Definitely been there.
But
We
that Donagan may have grabbed my leg, threw me up into the air, bit it off at the knee, but I drove my sword right into its head. Never been more satisfied with a kill. Unfortunately.
Still fighting fit.
For the moment, yes.
I know you'll still put up a fight no matter the circumstances, Uncle. Well, this is what happened to us, and then Belvin will start telling him about the giants and the dragons and the Githyanki and
he's just looking at you and just being like, how do you get yourself into these situations, dear nephew?
Honestly, I don't think I can tell you because I don't really know. But if they're coming at us with that kind of force, then we're doing the right things.
Well, I know who's going to be leading the charge in this battle, and also, luck die for everyone, and thank you so much for the sub, Bonewave.
I think everyone need it.
I'm going to need it. Speaking of... Actually, I'll finish this up first. Ontha looks at... I need to mute that. Ontha looks at then Ante's Sandstorm and Ikram and goes, you see, the refugee crisis here stoked fear that Baldur's Gate might suffer the same fate as Elturel, in which nothing remains but a hole in the ground. Our Grand Duke here, Old Ravengard, was visiting Elturel on a diplomatic mission when the city was destroyed. I was still traveling down. This was originally going to be the staging ground of this final gathering, but destroyed from above has caused the once great city to collapse off the side of the cliff. And the knights of Elturel, the Hell Riders, few of them escaped from the destruction, and I think somehow the religious blame them for Elturel's downfall. Self-righteous bunch of rabble-rousers, I say.
Do we know what exactly caused that destruction?
From all reports and from Alta's first-hand accounts, the sky basically fell on top of them, but I can basically tell you that it was a powerful spell that caused the city to collapse off the edge.
Did it hit in 4 places? Because if so, I've seen magic very similar to that in Lork.
You suddenly then look up into the sky, and you see something on the horizon just as a cloud passes. It's huge. Flying up through the air, through the sky. At first you think, oh, Skyridge. But then getting a bit of a glance, you're like, that's huge. Whatever that is massive, as it's coming from the northeast. El Torel is towards the east.
Does everyone see that?
Yes.
Do we know what that is?
I have no idea. Onthar just looks at and begins to looks to one of his squires and be like, send word out! Raise the alarm! And basically just from that first instance goes into a bit of a panic. Onthar looks to yourself and then to Antis and basically says, get out there and have a look. I'm not too sure that's not the flying castle that was reported to be here.
Yeah, that's definitely not Skyreach.
No. Alright, what would you guys like to do?
What I was thinking is during that instance, since Rob's not here, Ikram is actually gonna just for the little squire that Onthar is like, no need, and then he's just gonna send a pointed finger up and he's gonna do Skywrite.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Clever. What are you writing?
Equals up to 10 words. Possible danger approaching. Everyone be prepared for anything.
Okay, so the city goes into preparations at this present time. And sorry, just gonna dance the cameras around.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and then Belvin's just gonna sit there like, I don't know what I can do to help you guys, but
Ikram just says, yeah, just get on.
Wait, does he just turn into a dragon?
It just turns into an eagle. Giant
okay.
eagle. Just
Giant eagle, yeah. Because I
Yeah.
could carry Belvin, yeah. And Aunties can fly.
aunties can fly.
Casimir's still away.
Sandstorm might have Nightwing.
Sandstorm
No.
literally just turns into a shadow.
Jumps in your pocket.
Oh, he turns into smoke. Yes, right.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because he can now fit through an area that is an inch wide.
As long as there's darkness, right?
So long as there's darkness.
So wait, so he could he fit in my armor since it's dark under my armor?
Squished in there. No, you
Yeah.
shine torch and he just goes,
He can literally just fit up your
gets
gauntlet.
crushed.
He can fit
Yeah.
up your gauntlet. So when you cast your hand, fly in sandstorm.
Look, I'm gonna cast this powerful magic. Blah.
It's a cat.
Yeah.
As you go flying up into the reaches, you see a huge, nearly mile wide landmass, as if it's just been ripped out of the ground. There's still some dirt falling down from it. There are roots shooting out. It's kind of similar to the heart of Uptau that you encountered in
Yeah.
Schalt.
Schalt, yeah.
Yes.
But That wasn't that big, was it?
No,
The heart? Yeah.
not at all. It's probably only about 60
Yeah.
feet across. To then what you see as you fly above, and I'll just change the screen. A just on this gorgeous, beautiful day. What did I see? Casimir.
Oh, hey guys. Yeah, as you fly in, you would spot a familiar castle that you have passed just recently on the way back down the trip. Dragonspear Castle. Flying.
Very strange. The ruined tower and ruined castle, it looks like a pretty pristine, fortified, well-kept castle. The half-dragon skeleton that was laying through the castle is no longer there as well. It is just a massive castle landmass flying through the air. And you're just... What?
So this was you, Casimir.
Well,
And then
thought we should take some precautions to not be attacked from the air, such as what happened to Elturel.
okay, no, that's good to know. Would have been nice for a heads up. I think you've given everyone a bit of a fright down in Baldur's Gate.
Well,
And
not to
Selvin's
surprise
gonna
everyone.
cast sending from his ring to Ontha and tell him there's no need to panic. Casimir is in control of this flying landmass.
Profanities follow. I'll let you use your own imagination for that. As
It's just a prank, bro.
Alrighty. So how is this meant to negate air attacks?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I had
I could just tell you were dying to tell us.
a diabolical idea. Do you remember that glyph I was telling you about? The worm ward.
Yes.
Well, I thought it's a stationary glyph, but what if it could move? If it can't move the glyph, I'll move the land.
But how do you move this land?
That. I found writings in spell books over time, and after seeing the Heart of Uptau in Schult, I've been thinking and trying to figure out how it could all work, and it all just clicked with the Lich's spellbook and some of the writings.
That's right. You did acquire that, didn't you? Well, this is just impressive. Casimir.
Thanks, Spellbook. I'm quite happy with it, but it's not just for my own ego. I also thought that rather than have our armies go on an exhausting march, we could simply transport them, and they'd be in fighting shape.
And this, how far of an area negates flight?
Let's see. It's pretty fucking massive, honestly.
it's pretty huge.
I think it's like a 10-mile radius.
Around this space.
There's basically a
Okay.
floating fortress.
Yep.
Which can't be attacked by dragons unless
So the only
specifically I allow them.
Ah, so you can allow them.
Yes.
So while our
Dragons can
our
fly.
dragons can fly, and you
Theirs
and
cannot.
Whew.
I think it'll be quite a needed advantage in the coming battle.
Belvin's just gonna give him a hard slap on the shoulder, like, freaking great work, Casimir.
Let's hope it pays off.
Well, let's get down and have a chat with the Alliance.
Are any of the metallics at Baldur's Gate yet?
Yes,
I would
because
ask them to help me out, because this is an untested magic with the Worm Ward.
they are already affected, and they have been affected for about a day at the moment, because it's a 10-mile radius of a floating landmass that slowly travels over the course to get here.
Oh, okay, so they're already aware. Okay.
They are very aware, and upon your contacting them, even Ella is super pissed.
Well, I didn't think I was that close yet, but my apologies.
Still working out the kinks.
I didn't realize it would affect you at this distance.
Make a persuasion check.
My
Make a general charisma check, actually, just charisma.
yikes! Oh,
Nice.
+1. I hope you can overlook this slight against you. I had to be sure it would work on an unknowing dragon or a knowing dragon.
It has worked too well. Too well,
Oh.
little feral tiefling boy.
If
I
you
am
allow
very
me.
impressed with the magic pertained to the Worm Ward, and I'm familiar with the ancient draconic writings of the text. But I am very unaware of just how insulting it can come across as. But
If you'll allow me, I shall remove the effects on all of you.
we thank you a lot. We know this is for the greater good, of course. But it would have been nice to have any sort of warning.
Again, that is due to my own shortcomings. I did not know how large the effect was. Again, I had to test it to be sure.
Are you speaking with Ella directly?
Yeah.
Don't, Ella. Even we were not informed about this, so.
And we are just gonna go on. Sorry.
No, it's just so he kind of kept it to himself a little too much, I think. Maybe he'll learn from it.
To be honest, I wasn't entirely sure it would work, and I didn't want to get everyone's hopes up. Plus, the surprise was worth it, I think.
Casimir, you're an idiot. A brilliant idiot, but an idiot nonetheless.
Idiot savant.
Alrighty.
We are going to go back a couple of days in time
Oh.
as Casimir approaches the castle. Approaches Dragonspear Castle, the ruined wreck that it is. You are all by yourself at this point, and seeing the wreckage, traveling on the path, flying, however you do it. Upon reaching up the top of the keep, walking straight through the destroyed rubble of what it is, you do see standing at the front doors two chain devils.
Oh, shit.
They both have their hands on the doors.
They don't attack.
They don't attack.
We'll approach. I can't
They
control
do
that guy.
protect.
What would you like to do?
I can't select my guy. My token.
You can't? That's weird. Oh, because I put him on the... No, I didn't. No, did I? No. No, sorry. Casimir? Yep, there you go. All yours, there you go.
Alright, thank you. I'd move forward a little bit and just say, greetings.
We have been expecting you, Casimir of River God.
Expecting me. And who is expecting me exactly?
Lord Vormer awaits.
Cautiously go in. Just sort of. I'd like to take magic up. Just to be safe, so I don't walk into a trap or something.
They open the doors for you. You walk on in, and you can see the desolate ruins of this once great castle. And there, sitting on a throne, is the oversized fiend for that chair. Porcelain bone white. Elongated limbs and claws. And just open, serrated maw with these insect-like wings and an incredibly long xenomorph-like tail with a hooked barb on the end. And he taps his head.
No, yeah, because he can't talk to me psychically or telepathically. I would allow him to communicate with me.
I appreciate that, Casimir.
I'm sure you can understand how uncalled for some telepathic communication can be at times.
I absolutely agree. Word has reached me that you wish to take possession of this keep of ours.
It is a fine keep. I did not know it was yours, though.
Ever since its downfall 300 years ago, it has been at the beck and call of Duke Barbatos. This was originally where Fiend's Embrace was let loose on the world.
I assume you've handled that little trinket?
Already being tortured by Asmodeus, I see. We have a proposition for you.
I'm guessing you'll exchange the castle for something? Or something along those lines?
Yes. You see he picks up a soul coin. The deed to this keep, all of its earthly grounds, will be considered yours upon handing over the information regarding the imprisonment of Resmir Nerovane for the purpose of their torturing souls for all of eternity. Only Asmodeus has the authority to grant fiends their succession, and the mortal coil being one that skips that straight to an Ashabai is, in his eyes, against the rules. Also, the request of Raf Moldar's soul, handed over in your succession, of course, for help in constructing such a vile ritual and succeeding us all.
They seem quite agreeable terms. However, would I be able to delay or postpone rather the passing of information until after Tiamat has been defeated, or her followers rather, on this plane? I just don't wish to allow any chance of unexpected situations.
This will only be allowed if you offer up your soul in place of your failure. See if we do not get. If you do not succeed, then I am without payment and you will have gotten your castle.
I'm at one now and one after.
Now that's a term I can agree to. And with that, the camera pans out. And 24 hours later, castle raises into the air. And flies down towards Baldur's Gate. Picking back up in present time from that little flashback, the Drakhorn's moan echoes throughout the world still as the councils gathered together. Its calling still premandates against everything. There's a little dragon roar off into the background as well from a pass-bying dragon. But you all gather for the last and final session council of the... as they begin to prepare and plan all of their battle strategies. As you come in, you see it's a very similar room, if it's not an echo to that of the places to the north. In Water's Deep, small little change, a very long table, deep in the underground of the Dark Spire. You take your seat, you can see that Ella is there too. There is also Rain Nightshade from the Zentarum as well that is standing besides King Neverember, who speaks at first. And basically as you enter, and says, "The audacity of you all not even considering to give myself and my lands any draconic protection up in Neverwinter. What do you have to say for yourselves?"
Didn't Neverwinter have the Order of... No, the Arcane Brotherhood with it?
Oh, well, that's like 150 kilometers to the north.
Oh, I thought they were in the city, or just on the edge of the
No,
city.
that's
Okay.
Luskin.
Oh, right. Neverwinter.
Yes, north of Waterdeep, but south of Luskin.
Apologies, Lord Neverember. But when we were allocating areas, we prioritized the lands and cities south and east, just because it seemed the cult itself, since they had been gathering at the well, that is where the attacks will originate from.
We deemed Neverwinter was safer than other areas due to its location in regards to the well.
Ugh. You can't let alone put that fact back onto the land of Neverwinter just because we were further away from everyone else. There was still even though the well is down to the south, the northern cities as well still came under attack.
Of course. We merely are saying that we judged there to be less threat, not no threat. Other areas were definitely under siege, far more heavily.
King Landrake speaks up. Yes, it definitely was. Locke, for example. Even more so than that, Sakamba. Even more so than that, the Misty Forest. Two completely different city-states, all of them attacked by the Cult of the Dragon, more so and completely unaffected by yourself, Mr. Neverwinter. And he just grumbles.
Well, just quickly, have we distributed some of the hoard that we got?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, all right.
This is your opportunity.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure we hadn't talked about anything. Well, about those attacks, we actually had a bit of an encounter recently. We took down the highly regarded asset of the cult, the ancient blue dragon Lenarath.
There are some gasp and shocked voices, and even Ella just stands up from her seat, just looks at you, and just the doom of the desert.
Is no more.
Orzem's end.
Destroyed.
Vanquished at his own lair. To which I would like to respectfully ask you all to accept tidings from the horde that we actually found at that lair. Because we know of all the attacks and the rebuilding that needs to happen. We wish to divide this mass of treasures and gold evenly enough to assist all of you. I just wanted to put it down on the table now. We can talk about actual numbers and needs of you all. But
Okay, so
someone, if you need to actual know the tallies of all the dividing up of all of these, speak to Casimir.
I fucking knew.
You're the treasurer, aren't you?
Yep. I was gonna say something, but just like, just talk to Casimir.
Yeah.
Ella
We'll
then
discuss this afterwards.
Ella then speaks up. As compensation for our protection and time, and even the lives of my kin, we too would wish to access some of this hoard brought forward by Riverguard. We believe it's only fair that we have a nice standing relationship.
Of course.
Understandable. You will definitely will put into the account as well, but just know that we will try to evenly distribute this hoard as best we can.
Excluding the Harpers and the Emerald Enclave, who won't be taking any portions of that, there are 13 people.
Individuals.
Yeah, 13
Or, like,
individuals to distribute it out to.
Yeah.
And there is, let's see, bit of math.
quick math.
300,000, 4,000 gold pieces divided by 13 goes to 23,384.
That's
It's a decent amount of gold.
That's it.
But
a decent amount.
Yeah.
It's something.
when you're talking city scales, it's not much, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's something.
It's still something.
The thing is,
This is only the start, though.
Yeah.
We have no idea what we'll find at the Well of Dragons itself, which is likely where they're keeping all their treasures, or remaining treasures.
Um, so Aristotle bangs his cup down his tankard. Because at that point, any treasure that goes from the Well of Dragons, specific items should be returned to those communities. It will be a long process, a long, grueling process. But I believe it should also be distributed evenly towards those city-states, and those communities in need to be rebuilt. You see that you guys are getting really dirty looks from the member of the Emerald Enclave, Delane Winterhound. He's got his arms crossed and he just looks at you and says, "Not many dragons grow to be the age one does of Lenarath. More so, even among dragons, are any of them considered an alpha such as Lenarath? How do you feel disrupting the natural order of growth just to bring gold to already civilized communities?"
If that's what you're taking away from this, you must be stupid. We didn't take down Lenarath because he was a pile of gold. He is a threat. And yes, there are many dragons that are deemed alphas as well. I was kidnapped by one.
I know.
Don't worry. There, like everything, one will come to replace it.
This was to aid our survival in these times.
Unless you wanted a giant blue ancient dragon flying around the battlefield whilst also fighting other dragons.
If that is how I die, that is how I die. You then see Conrad speak up and says, "We have all heard about the victim of Arathator. Arathator is still out there. He still stands a major threat.
But at least for him, we know. Well, we'd like to think he's still just staying in his own lair."
What's her name? You then look over towards. Sorry, flipping pages. Remilia leans forward and goes, "That's not necessarily true. By our reports for our forward scouts, the Old White Death is already at well and truly at the Well of Dragons. One of the northwestern lava tunnels has been encased truly in ice. So he's made his presence well known."
Fortunate, but not surprising.
So
I see.
be it.
They're gathering all forces, as are we. We thought it best to take down Lenarath while we had the chance before the final battle, even if it only reduces their capabilities by a little.
Any amount, Lady Ilariel states. Any blow that we can do to the cult will be for the better of the world at this present time. For the moment, I feel after this is all said and done, we will need to discuss. Those who do surrender themselves will be trialed, prosecuted for their crimes against the world. Those who wish to run will be hunted down and put to face the crimes they've committed. But we need a plan going forward. Casim,
Be allowed a chance to redeem themselves.
what may you suggest, Archhost?
They are not all inherently evil. They're just evil because they're made to believe that they are evil. I have met dragons. I have met chromatic dragons who do have kind hearts but are forced to do what they do because of others. Whilst I believe there will be a large amount who do not wish to change, there may be enough in which we will be able to not so much protect them, but allow them a space in which they can grow and we can learn from them.
If this is a campaign you wish to follow on, Lady Antis, I do hope that what you say is true. I have no doubts that you have met dragons like this, and I know all about the stories of Ice Claws, Reefieties. There are just still concerns and fears, but with all due respect, the words have reached my ears that you have been granted a title by the Praetorian Code. The one who has been gifted the identity to bring peace between the two. Is that not correct? At the spine of the world, a neutral ground for both chromatics and metallics.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what my title was.
I'm currently looking for it now.
I'm not like Sandstorm, who constantly says all of these titles so he doesn't forget.
Yeah. Yours is a bit more difficult to pronounce. Omarold.
Omarold. Yeah. Omarold. Yes, I was gifted that by the King of Justice?
Yes.
Yeah. I was gifted it by the King of Justice.
Supreme one of our magic. Yes. We look forward to what you plan. However, we have no plan if we have no victory.
Of course.
So now we plan. She looks to everyone. If you have any doubts in your mind of being here today and wish to pull your forces and return home, this is your moment. And this is your opportunity. Everyone looks around the table at each other.
What does that Emerald Enclave guy do?
We'll see.
We will see. As we start with Lady Lariel, she looks as there's a pregnant pause in the conversation. I, Lady Lariel, pledge Waterdeep's armies and conscription troops. The girl Neverember leans in, just slams a hand down. Neverwinter's conscripted troops, mercenaries from around the world, and navy are also pledged. Over to Dwarf, the king, former king, the ambassador, Stan. Doesn't stand, but he begins to stamp his foot as he speaks. The ideas of honor and respect have been upheld this day. A sturdy axe, a strong hand to hold it, and a straight fight are all we dwarves need to end this little problem. The dwarven soldiers and dwarven forward armaments and siege equipment of the northern citadels are pledged to this battle. The battered and bruised Marshal Older Ravengard, who is the leader of the Flaming Fists, the warrior regiment of Baldur's Gate and the law, basically, stands up. I am trusted with protecting thousands of lives, and I will not betray that trust no matter what I personally desire. The Flaming Fist warriors and expert advisors to train the conscripted troops as they travel will be pledged this day. Melandrake stands up. These adventurers have brought me grave news about the dealings of my son and his involvement within the Cult of the Dragon, and for that I am shamed. We elves were once the greatest civilization to face the grace of Faerun, and my people are heir to that history. I'll not squander our waning strength. The elven Eldritch Knights and mages will be pledged this day. Taran Hornblade of Silvery Moon. The calculated risks are necessary to win this war, and no one is likely to emerge unscathed. The Knights of Silver and the conscripted troops of Silvery Moon will join this battle. Sir Aristoval. Against Tiamat, we either stand together or fall alone. The Knights of Daggerford and also Comery, they land to the far east. Will be pledged. War Wizards, Purple Dragon Knights will be joining on the front line to assist in the aiding of the troops. Remilia looks forward. Our failure would spell an end to all things beautiful and honest. The Harbour Mages and Scouts will join the battle. Ontharr raises his tankard that shines in a golden light. Ah, well, you see, looks over to Belwyn. The strong must defeat the weak, whatever the cost, especially if they are tyrants. The paladins, the healing clerics, and the Hell Riders will support the fight against Tiamat's forces. All eyes land then on Delane Winterhound. Looks at everyone else. Looks at you. Sighs. In all good hearts is a spot of darkness, and in all tragedy is a glimmer of light. This world's circles of druids, treants, and good-aligned lycanthropes, their tribes would join in this battle for the balance of the world. Tides of the outcome. The Enclave is in. Lariel looks to the rest of the party. Well, with all pledges forward, a plan to follow would be greatly suggested. And since you've taken the lead on so many initiatives and done such a wonderful job in all your adventures, my dear Riverguard, we look to you. How should we lead this battle?
I suppose I'll speak out.
Yeah, Casimir.
As you may have noticed, I have
We're back.
successfully raised quite a large amount of land from the remains of Dragonspear Castle. With the march to the Well of Dragons would be long and treacherous. So I thought we could spare our troops the exhaustion by transporting them with this floating island. And I've also discovered and implemented a worm ward which prevents dragons from flying within its radius.
There's a bit of amazement and wonder of just like, okay, just how powerful is this kid? Yeah, literally. It's like, what the fuck?
This hasn't been an overnight process, but I believe the fruits of my efforts have come to pass. Ideally, we'll be able to fly this island basically directly to the well and prevent all of their draconic horde flightless, while allowing our own metallic friends and chromatic friends to remain unhindered.
This is a significant advantage, Casimir. You do realize that.
I'm quite aware of the significance. I feel, given the size of their horde, we will need this advantage.
What weakness does our advantage hold?
The only chance they would have to remove it would be to travel through flight or teleportation to the heart of Dragonspear Castle, where I've installed the glyph. Even if the magic holding the island is dispelled, it will not plummet to the earth like a meteor, but slowly descend. I've built in a failsafe.
That is good news. Okay, there is a risk, unfortunately, but with all risks comes trial. Now, she raises her hand, then casts an illusion and brings up a map of the Well of Dragons. She looks it up. She looks it over, and Rumelia points to the northwestern region. It says, "This here has been entry. This northwestern field, which was originally going to be our main approach vector, coming around from the northwest, has been coated in frost and snow, more or less to the effect of Arathator. We've also deduced that from spies within their ranks, that the Drakhorn is also in that northern section. One could surmise that it's possible that one of their most powerful assets is guarding one of their much needed treasures."
Until we can disable the Drakhorn, none of their forces are likely to flee. I'll look to Antis. If we can disable the Drakhorn, potentially the ones who are less fanatical, I suppose, would likely flee.
Yes.
Potentially these chromatics who are forced to battle rather than of their own will.
Yes. I mean, that is amplified by the Dracon.
I believe that should be our first priority, as that will likely reduce their combat capability significantly if part of their force flees when it's disabled.
Then Lady Larael speaks. "We'll entrust that task to yourselves. As especially Antis, you are the authority on the Drakhorn to my knowledge. Hey,
I am well versed.
hey, look,
Hello.
look,
Welcome, Rob.
look who we just had
Get
pop
on,
in.
mate.
Sorry for the delay.
You will be, mate.
Oh,
Yeah,
mate.
mate. It's already 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it's so annoying, this whole daylight savings thing.
It's all good.
Can't do anything anymore without you guys being like, it's so late.
How dare you? The audacity. But yeah, we are currently just speaking strategy. While I fix up the cameras, Hornsey, you want to fill him in on what you've
Oh,
done?
sweet.
Alright, so we're basically back in Riverguard, and
Yep.
we all travelled down with our troops to Baldur's Gate, where we're having a meeting with all the Lord's Alliance, like all the faction leaders, basically. Just on what
Oh, we're having
we're
a meeting with them.
yeah,
Yeah.
like what our final preparations are and that sort of stuff.
Battle tactics and such.
Okay,
Eh,
sweet.
all of the faction leaders pledged their troops, which is great.
Oh, and we have our own. Casimir did his
Yep.
own flying castle thing.
Yeah.
It's not
pretty
just
cool.
a flying castle; it's literally a mile of land,
Yes.
a giant floating island.
This is what it looks like. I fuck you not.
Why?
It's just, well,
Why?
why?
Why not?
Because that is just what Casimir can do now.
Because I wanted that fucking castle since the start of the
Oh,
campaign.
nice.
And so, Casimir
So
just
how
had
did you do that?
Magic.
a couple of deals with the devil, and he found a really incredible spell, and just was like, fuck it, 9th level. And
Yep.
he has now raised
Oh, nice.
a mile radius plot of land into the sky.
Landmass. Yep.
Yep,
That can stop dragons from flying.
I can
Oh,
stop.
that's a different magic effect.
Yeah, that's a
But
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's still the same part
In
of
Flying Island, yeah.
the package.
Exactly.
It's,
That is-
it's
It's
pretty useful.
at the start of the campaign, Casimir said he was going to make his own home.
Yeah. He literally said he would make a place.
Make a place for his people to live and prosper, and it fucking flies.
I mean, literally.
So now you have
great.
2 aerial assets. But yes, there is a current discussion going on talking about tactics from the and just how you're going to approach and any ideas you have for the Well of Dragons. To the northwest side of it, the northwestern tunnel has basically been coated in ice and frost and snow from reports of a Rathator being around in that area. The white dragon that you faced when you last discovered back at that time Macath, who was being, quote, held hostage. You also gather that the Drakhorn, he reports that the Drakhorn is also in that area, surmising that their current greatest asset is protecting one of their greatest treasures.
Need to take that out first, preferably.
And you have been tasked with doing that by the council. Delane then speaks up from the Emerald Enclave. For those in the sky being well protected, and for those dragons that land on the ground, from those forces that can't fit on the flying landmass, they will be quite vulnerable to the nearly overwhelming might of dragons. We may have 500 or 100 troops on the ground, but they can still all be decimated by the strength of some dragons' breaths.
Oh, how many troops total do we have?
I am going to give you a number on that next week.
Yeah, okay.
Let's
A
just
lot.
go with 100,000.
Yep, sweet. Well, I did not expect us to fight from the air. I expected to have everyone dismount the flying island, merely using it as a transport and a hindrance to the dragons rather than a fortress, per se.
Ah, understood.
I knew that it would be difficult to fight from it, as we need to invade the well rather than just approach it.
Sorry, Sandstorm's being weird. Yes, I agree wholeheartedly with that. Sandstorm, stop that.
In saying that, the ward does protect or provide some protection against draconic breath. Not entirely, but it will give some protection. So, in game terms, I think it does. Where is it? Oh, no, sorry. Any dragon has disadvantage on saving throws, apparently, and a flying speed of 0.
Yes.
So it'll make them weaker. Yep, right. Sorry. I thought it gave us advantage, but it gives them disadvantage on saves.
Which is huge.
Yep.
Ikram, you notice that you do have floating around your head. You haven't really noticed it before over the course of the last month. There is just
A voice.
there is a voice, but there is also a small floating pink rhomboid floating around you, and you feel heartier, feel more fortified.
Does it tell you to kill?
Doesn't tell you to kill, but it's
Blood.
but it's floating there as your Constitution score increases by 2.
Oh, sweet.
Well, it can
It can.
if you choose to attune to it.
No, it is attuned. Because it's floating.
Yes, it does require attunement.
So what am I losing? My slippers.
I knew that would be the important one.
Well, if you'd like,
Kind of want to keep them.
you can keep the slippers but not attune to them and just cast Spider Climb yourself.
Spider climb.
Ah, so is that?
It's a spell.
That's all I do.
No, I just mean like, is it?
It's just
Guess I might
permanent.
have to.
Yeah.
What
It's
spell
just-
slot would it be?
Level
Second,
2.
I think.
2.
Yeah. Spider climb. That's all it is.
Hmm.
It just permanently is on. So you're just like sleeping on the roof, just like.
Yeah.
Which he did. That's when he got attacked. Remember?
Yeah.
It's because they're giants and they can reach the roof.
Yes.
Imagine if they didn't know I was there.
I mean, imagine it's hard. They wouldn't with the snoring.
Ikram man. Right. So, that would give you a +2 to your Constitution score, and you'd also gain 18 hit points.
Oh shit.
Is that how?
Yeah, from the con increase, yeah. It's +1 for every level you have.
Sorry, how many hit points?
18 extra.
18.
Because you're level 18. And you gain
36
up
plus 18. Was that 54?
for. You got
Alright.
154.
In the big boy numbers
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. You're catching up.
Still the weakest.
Until he turns into a
Probably
fucking
a lot.
dragon. Turns into a dragon, has like 300 extra health.
Until he turns into a dragon and then casts Earthquake on him.
Oh yeah, cool. That's just great, Ikram. Thanks.
Splits the castle in 2.
Yeah. Great work, Ikram. That was our fucking castle you just broke.
So,
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
the council then looks at you and asks, okay, so how... so they basically have... You basically have your task provided for you. To take out and occupy the Drakhorn. They will then ask for a code or during the battle of what will essentially be like, okay, we've captured the Drakhorn, moving in, and basically at that point they'll be able to push harder. But if you have any other tactics or anything else you'd like to add or prepare to do or say you want to kind of do, you can definitely do so. So you can affect the terrain as well. You could use any assets to deploy ahead of time, because you do know that there are currently spies from the Harpers within the cult.
I mean, the reverse is probably true as well. They likely have spies.
That's true.
So we don't want to go too sort of ham on our... We don't want to let our plans be known too widespread.
Okay. All right.
Well, I think that's what we should do. We'll definitely have to sort of review exactly what assets we do have.
Yes, you will gain your review eventually. But as you begin to plan, the wheels of war begin to move as the council adjourns and begins to press on through as basically the flying mass that is Dragon's Spear Castle comes closer down within the valley that the river passes by, and there begins a system of how to get up and reach it and such, and how logistics are going to work, teleportation circles, and through use of the arcane brotherhood goes on through, and yeah, you essentially get on up and get you can pick 2 armies to take with you, or basically 2 factions to fit on the land. Otherwise, yeah, the rest will have to walk and make their way. Dragons, they're fine to be placed throughout.
I'd say probably through the journey we'd sort of like rotate which armies are on the castle to let them rest a bit.
Yep. But for the final battle, who would you like to have on the castle?
Oh, for the final battle, I was imagining everyone would be on the ground still. We're just gonna like move them close.
Right. Got you. Okay. So it's just like a couple miles out.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't think any armies being on top of the keep would actually be useful if the dragons can't fly.
That's a very good point.
They'd just be kind of up there like shooting arrows off the top. Pew, 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 pew.
To where it's just in.
Which could be useful still, honestly, but I'm not sure how useful it would be.
I mean, having a whole bunch of mages shooting spells, raining down
Yeah,
spells
that-
could
that-
be
that
cool.
would-
That could be good, actually.
That was my first thought, was having not all
If
of them,
you
but
put-
like majority.
The Arcane Brotherhood's magical cannons on top and
Yes.
shooting down.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
Because most spells have ranges, which is like, if they're up on top, they probably couldn't even reach the ground. But the cannons could definitely.
The cannons.
Yeah.
The cannons have a range of like 1,000 feet, like at disadvantage.
Bombard them.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
My God, it's ridiculous. I love the collaboration that you guys have just created for this. All right, so you're gonna plant Dragon Spear Castle roughly 10 or 9 miles out, and plop it down. So, travel scene as we begin to make the final approach and vector towards the Well of Dragons,
Oh, shit.
as the beginning of the end is here. As the plan moves and the forces of the world begin to gather, there is probably 120 metallic dragons that have of all various ages as well that have come and gathered around the castle. All of them asking, basically taking on a humanoid form to come to the castle and just by walking and be like, may I please have a drink of air, of flying, Casimir? May I please fly?
May I have a crumb of magic, please?
They bought their like flying mass pass.
Yeah.
You got
Like,
Opal
alright.
card.
Who's bought their tickets?
It's like, ooh, ooh.
Casimir's just scanning them in.
Someone just yells out, bingo! It's Tyrus. As the armies of the world travel, and you can see as you move on over and through El Terrell, or what once was, has basically slid off the cliff into the water. This large cliffside city-state where you first met Onfar has just completely fallen off and is there around the surrounding areas that you meet up with the Hell Riders that are trying to keep the refugees who are camping out in the fields, trying to keep them safe. But you can see that little remains of any settlement or territory really as you go from El Terrell. I'm just going to put you in over on the world map as you were traveling over towards the end game. It's going to put on some bit of a tense challenge too.
Shit.
Actually, before we get too close, Belvin will actually take a little bit of time away in one day.
Mm-hmm.
Set up a little bit of incense with some holy water poured around the
Okay.
incense, and he'll cast commune.
All right. You cast commune. The incense begins to burn as you sit there in your designated room. It's peaceful. It's a sunny day, and there's no clouds up above. There is, to the east, the burnt lands around the reaching woods on the horizon as the sun begins to rise. More green towards the west, back your way you came, but it is a peaceful moment that you've caught by yourself. Go on.
Alrighty. Helm. Have we done enough to hinder the summoning of Tiamat?
Could you just cast commune for me so I can just give it a read? Thank you, appreciate that. The wind doesn't blow, even though there is wind swirling around you. The incense smoke still just rises up straight, and it's kind of not a lull, but it's a mild. You kind of get the impression that you've done a lot, but it's still just not as much. So it's kind of an unclear or an even amount.
Will we succeed? In taking down the cult at the well?
You begin to hear the clang of blades firing of the arcane cannons, the crashing of comets from the sky, the roar of dragons, this echo of the Drakhorn as it then rings in your ears. You feel the vibration echo through the building as well.
As the coppers rock up.
Apparently so, either that or there's a fire going on. Could you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you so good? Why is this so good? Anyway, thin walls. Don't know how, it's brick. Oh,
Goes
and-
another one.
no, it's a fire engine.
Oh, they're coming for you, Carl.
Oi, I'm trying to stream you. I hope you're okay. But I'm trying to stream you. Anyway, 911, yes, I have emergency. You interrupted my stream. Bye. Anyway, the Drakhorn sounds. It is a. You then begin to hear 5 distinct roars. You begin to hear the click of footfalls behind you, and a woman's laughing voice. No.
Wait, no is the answer?
Yes. Will you would you gift me the power to aid this success in an exchange for myself?
You take a deep breath in. You feel the air. You feel just how light you are at the moment. You're nodding in your armor. You have yet to do your training. Your shield arm, though heavy with the burden of helm, has already been a great gift to you. His Helm's might, Helm's shield, Helm's defense reigns and is channeled through you as his paladin and champion of glory. Make a charisma check for me. What you get?
23.
Very nice. Roll a D100.
100.
Wow.
Get fucked.
Natty 100.
Wow.
Damn.
We just won the fight.
Yeah, that's it. We won. We just finished the game.
Instant win.
Just
Tom just comes down and just
Just put in the cheat code and you won.
look, rolling high on a D100 doesn't mean it's good, remember?
No, it does. It's green.
The way that
See
Carl
it.
said it.
It's not red. It's green. I can see it right there.
You gain. Now I'm having trouble which one to pick.
You gain the tingles.
You gain the tingles.
He gained the win button.
The one button.
The one button.
You gain the one.
I'm like,
button.
one.
Okay.
And make anyone roll a 1 at his choosing.
Do it on Sandstorm.
Please.
Just fuck with him.
Yeah.
He gets to do anything.
It's like, oh, that's a 20. Oh, well, actually.
The only thing he can do now is stealth checks.
You gain the blessing of health and protection.
Oh, that sounds pretty nice.
Your constitution score increases by 2 to a maximum of 22.
Okay.
That's sick.
Very nice.
And you gain a permanent +1 bonus to AC and saving throws.
Fucking hell, that's very nice.
Nice, bro.
Hell yeah.
You rolled a fucking 100.
Yeah.
You get 2.
Oh, shit.
Nice. Okay.
Yes, Ninit, less more. We've been waiting for our daylight saving friend to join us. But with that, yes, even though Helm, that is as much already being Helm's champion, and is as much as he can provide you on a mortal level. Now,
I think that's pretty good.
it's,
Yeah.
Not bad.
it's
And then
pretty good.
after that, Belvin will just stand up. It's just. I will do everything I can to use this strength you have given me, Helm. But chances are I'll be pleading for more in the times to come. As selfish as it probably will be, but this is not something we can afford to lose. And then he'll just go about his business that day then.
Okay. Over the coming days as well, Tease comes up to you, Tease, in her tabaxi form, catches you while you're just relaxing, nuzzles up to you and goes, "Oh, young one, how are you feeling?" Are you meted done?
I feel tired. I'm ready for it to be over. It's just one of those things you wonder what's going to happen after it all. I have hope that it'll all work out.
As do I. Your friends, powerful as they may be, are interesting in their methods. Now, I will tell you that I will be with you every step of the way, and I will be defending Thumful's Tower till the end of my days in helping you. Arathator, however, he is another story. Do you wish to face him still? Do you believe he can be redeemed?
There's a part of me that wishes he could. But then the logical side of my brain says he can't. I don't think he can live in a world where you are not his. he could not make peace with the fact that you loved someone else.
And that has always been his way. He's always wanted treasure that he cannot comprehend. The scrolls, the treasure from the Arcane Brotherhood. He still can't even understand basic love and affection, so it's really strange. His influence, however, is great. And since you are to be the master of our magics, I would like to present to you a gift. I wonder if you have the soul to hold it. And she will hold her paw.
She'll place her hand.
She breathes. She just says, "Close your eyes."
She closes them.
Feel all around you. Sense it. The magic that flows through everything. The cold touch of air will be your guide, as it is your affinity. Do you feel it? Make me a perception check.
Ooh, I am gonna luck die that, please.
You can luck that.
I'm not feeling very perceptive.
There's a lot going on. It is cold up here. I'm not too sure what she's trying to refer to. Think inward to yourself. What surrounds you? What do you have that others could use against you? You then feel, as you are wearing, as you still have luminous on your side, even though it is attuned and commands you, you feel its magical effects from the blade being dispersed as if someone else is using its abilities. And you know that this is something that a Reisvitis has the capacity to do. Do you sense that?
Yes.
And then she puts her hand up and says, "Focus on my ring. It was gifted to me from Red. Do you feel it?" Make a charisma saving throw.
Oh. Okay.
You got this.
Nice.
Tonight's it's the magic number. Though my wish was taken, yours shall not. As you learn the ability Awaken from Afar. So long as you're aware of a magical item, you can, within your sight, you can use a action to activate it or interact with it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's what Reisvitis has been using with the cube the entire time.
Which is fucking rude.
She is.
I wonder if that would work with the Dracorn.
We'll find out.
By the way, we would have brought the arrow, wouldn't have? Yeah. I think Rob.
The metallics have that, don't they?
Do they have
I
the
still
arrow?
have it, I thought.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh,
don't
no.
think we ever gift. Did we?
No, I think I gave it to.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I remember I gave it to Britanza.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The
It
arrow.
was like a trust me,
Yeah.
I'm a duck berry.
Okay.
So that's yeah. Giving up that is what saved. What saved Ikram in a sense. Alongside with the
Selfish guy over here.
yeah, alongside with the fall of the Arc Star, the King Killer Star. I mean,
Yep.
Good old that guy.
Ikram
Kashan.
That's the
Kashan,
one.
you have since leaving Riverguard, have had a pocket-sized Enki in your hood.
Since when?
You weren't here for it, but Enki has been shrunk down to a potbelly pig size. And
Fuck yeah.
he's-
Oh, wait. Oh, it's a bit sad though.
he's having armor commissioned for him as well for his full size. And he's with you at the moment, and you currently stand looking out upon the reaching woods, or what once was the woods to the north of Greenus and Burdusk. You can see down to the south, and as you pass over the top of it, little remains of the territory surrounding the area of the Well of the Dragon. And you can feel that there is the constant drone of the Drakhorn. You believe that is going between the flying castle and the ground just to put your feet down on the natural earth. That local animals in the area have been forced to flee or have been driven mad. You can see that a handful of villages in the area are blood-stained ghost towns. As you go past Terrell, Succumbal, and even the small settlement to the north of Hardbuckler. Small little towns. 300 people at most, you'd reckon. But they're gone. Few survivors you encounter that are living off the land are headed towards Baldur's Gate as the droning happens on, and it's always off in the distance that you can see the telltale shape of a dragon in the sky. Chromatics patrol the area day and night, so you can make a survival check if you wish. So you can have a little bit of
Yeah, sure.
bit of a knowledge of what's going on in the area.
Eating.
18. Yes. With that,
Right.
you're welcome. With that, you're able to basically dictate and warn a lot of the, basically warn the keep to everything about approaching dragons, and you're able to get the word out quite quickly, especially since you were able to take shift in your flying forms. And you're able to survey the area quite quickly and able to send messages out. You can see that there, when needed to, that the long line of forces are able to find shelter as they camouflage themselves to avoid passing dragons off to the distance as they begin to make their way around, especially a Dragon Spear Castle as well, flying above the clouds. As you, however, as a group, begin to head north, probably about a day out, you can see that the sky off into the distance of the Corella of the Well of the Dragons, the burnt out volcano, it is littered completely in the darkness that is dragons flying around it. Yeah, you can see off in the distance is like a moving, droning swarm of flies off in the distance. And it is at that point that you also see flying on down. Where is it? Skyreach! You can see off into the distance to the north as well, as it kind of meets you by the North Darkwood.
Hey. What up, little castle bro?
Yeah, at this point, at this point when you guys meet,
Yeah, how does this bit happen?
upon
Slow down.
upon parking into one of the ravines, Balgothis comes upon your floating island and just looks at you and looks at the land and says, "You compensating for much, small man?"
I just
Game of
thought,
chicken or something.
you know, like you're big with a small castle, I'm small with a big castle. It makes sense, right?
Indeed. You still owe me some ballistas.
Well, oh is a strong word. But I'm sure we can work something out.
We are aching to fight the worms, change the tide of history.
Well, not long now, and I've got good news. You'll be able to fight them as equals on the ground. They won't be able to fly.
He just goes into a laughing fit. Oh, you bring good news this day. Your father blesses us, tis. Now, boy, we move to battle. He's ecstatic. As Skyreach and Dragonspear float into the distance, you can begin to see as 10 miles out, or even as the castle roughly makes its way towards the Well of Dragons on its final vector approach, the armies gather around as you can begin to see, especially from the reports, the mass that is the jagged, asymmetrical tower of Tiamat.
Jesus.
As the temple, risen from the ground, in the middle of this burnt out volcano, stands under a mass of dragons as the final battle approaches our heroes, the Well of Dragons. You then see a massive pillar of light shoot up from the temple, followed by of just purple energy, followed by a red, blue, green, white, and black. Hits into the sky. Clouds begin to form, darkening over the area. Lightning strikes down at the earth. Hellfire rains down from the sky as well, just piddling down like rain and ash. Drakhorn calls. And the fear sets in. As you prepare for this day, since you have my little greenest level 1 babies, ever since the pilot, we've been awaiting this moment. Tiamat's return beginning. You wonder if it's too late as the gears begin to turn in motion and you make your charge, where you can see that there are all kinds of forces lining the ground as you approach. and the war begins. Next time on Dragon's Brew Z.
Oh God.
Yes.
Intense.
Where we will have...
Setting the scene, Jesus.
Yep. We are in the last... We are in the final little bit of finale. Guys, this is it. Whatever you have prepared and with you, pick your spells because you're not getting another chance.
Yep.
So you best be coming prepared. Because...
Well, I gotta make sure. Do I have Divine Smite prepared? Yes. Okay. Cool.
Yep. Lucky.
I should be good.
You gotta drink what you need to, you gotta eat what you need to, you have... Because essentially we are going to be kicking off our next session with war. But until then...
Battle.
Until next time, friends, foes, and familiars, remember, be kind to each other and keep rolling 20s. We're Dragons and Cats, and we'll be back next week for more Dragons Brew D&D. Until then, keep rolling 20s. Bye. We rolled a 19.
Nice roll.
Pretty good.
Thank you. I am.
But it's not 20, Carl.